Greetings folks, welcome back to Red Pearl of Borneo, or Red Pearls of Borneo. Last time, we've pretty much identified where everybody was in the first like 5 hours or so. How do I... the eye, there we go. The eye's up there sometimes, it's sometimes up there. So it's just, well, okay, so there's 3 of you here. And I think you two are meeting at this time, but I don't have the location. Well, except they said that it was like the usual meeting location, but it says he went to a cove, but is the cove the location or is there somebody somewhere else? But I don't think, like, I can't look at the next time and know, right? Like, you don't say where you were. Enters the kitchen through the window and quickly closes it behind her. She puts on an apron hastily, face lit with perspiration. Wait, I don't remember reading that. Did I read that? I have no recollection of that at all. She puts on an apron hastily, her face lit with perspiration. Asia can hear Canon and Jeremiah Goodwill talking in the corridor. She gestures to the other servant who's in the kitchen to leave. She grabs some herbs and a kitchen knife and starts chopping. Okay. Yep, I absolutely do not remember that. Okay, but I mean, it doesn't tell me where you were. I knew you were somewhere else, meeting the German guy. And also... the German at this time, you here, is crossing the garden. So you've come from somewhere, but I don't know where. We do already know that it's not the, well, I guess there's a few grey spots. It's not the, what was I going to say? Not the jungle entrance, right? That's the only one that I know one of them has been near, and AC was told that the German was at the jungle entrance, but the German went to the cove, whatever that means. I mean, I could do it by process of elimination. There's only 4 places left, but there might be other locations. I don't know yet. So maybe rather than trying to fill that in now, we can move forward somewhere. So we've basically got dinner here. You two are elsewhere. Where were you at this point? She throws a cloth into the basin and sprints out the back door. Okay. Right. Well, yeah, but we already tried going to the jungle entrance, didn't we, with you two? There is something here. I reckon that other person's there, because then the other person shows up at the dinner scene here. With 2 other people. But they're not mentioned as being Canon and Asia, although it doesn't like... Sorry, here. A loud crash and gasps, and someone new enters. Their aura is very strong, but also very dark. I do not know them. Who is it? But doesn't somebody here mention Canon? Or maybe it was here. Yeah. We do like this. Tall white man, the mysterious stranger strides in to blah blah blah. Canon, remove this man. So Canon is now here. Is Canon outside? So is it 2 rough looking locals? No, that's 2 people we don't know. So Canon's also here somehow. But that does make it seem like Canon would have been with Asia. Maybe? Or like, because like Canon and Asia are not on the same side in the previous scene, but then he's going towards the jungle entrance. But why? I don't really know what the reason is yet. Well, what was Canon doing previously? Clubhouse at 7. Yeah, you just said... Wait. Why is it only showing you? Why is it only showing you? How do I make it show the whole conversation? I don't know. It's gonna change time and place. Which one are we in? That one. Still not. What do I do? Do I restart the game? Where were we? Clubhouse. Okay, there we go. Now they show up. So go back to the map. Everything's ship-shape cannon as you were, old chap. I shall return to my round, shall I? So we don't really know what happened between then and him storming off towards the jungle entrance, which is in the next scene. I mean, I guess it doesn't say you leave, so maybe if I do you here, we'll see more about you going that way. Although when did you... I think it was in the previous scene that you saw, that you saw Kenan running off, so that wouldn't make sense. I might try it anyway, because we've had one situation before where I think it didn't quite make sense. Yeah, nothing happened, okay. I mean, we do know you're going across the croquet lawn, but I think I've already checked. Yeah, okay, nothing's happening there. Yeah. But that makes it sound like you're going to the only other location is... Oh, interesting, that can stay up while I'm on the map. The only other location over there, unless there's like something else, is the jungle entrance, but I think I've already checked that as well. I haven't. Well, I have, but it's not like the complete thing, because I think that other character's there is the issue. Okay, where do I go next? Can I figure out anything else from this? The opium pipe on the floor next to the victim's hand. Did I already do this? Pretty sure I did, yeah. So even though it's here, I guess nobody touches it? Is that the idea? What other items have we got going on here? Oh, it's doing it again. Where are we right now? We're in the study. Okay, they're back again. It's empty vial and pockets it terrified. So you got the empty blue vial, but I don't know where you are. I do know you've gone past the veranda from the study. I mean, the only thing that direction is the boathouse? I don't really have a reason to believe you've gone to the boathouse, but I could check if you were here, I guess. Wait, you're not here. Where are you? Oh, I haven't moved forwards. Sorry. Okay. Boathouse. Is that right? No, nothing happened here at this hour. Okay. I think the map is basically, even when it says like went past the thing, like I'm not supposed to read anything from it. I don't think. I guess you could have like walked out down here and then like this way maybe. There's a different way to interpret that. Uh-oh. We had more glossary to read, I guess. Piracy? The 1920s to 1941 was a major period of piracy in the South China Sea. Piracy evolved from traditional marauding into a highly organized criminal enterprise that baffled the world's most powerful navies. It was the perfect storm. The explosion of piracy was driven by the political collapse of China following the fall of the Qing dynasty? Qing dynasty? Qing pronunciation. King, okay. Central authority in China vanished, replaced by local warlords who often made deals with pirate gangs, taking a cut of their loot in exchange for protection. Civil wars, famines, and the Great Depression pushed coastal villages into piracy as a means of survival, including many women and children. The most legendary figure of this era was Lai Choi-san, the Pirate Queen. She reportedly commanded a fleet of 12 armed pirate ships and thousands of followers. coast of Canton and Fujian was a maze of thousands of tiny islands with hidden coves and river deltas. The most infamous of these was Bias Bay, we've read about that before I think, which served as a pirate republic. Unlike the Caribbean pirates who chased ships down, South China Sea pirates of this era used a more subtle method. Pirates would purchase legitimate tickets and board steamships as third-class passengers. They would smuggle pistols and grenades in their luggage or have them hidden on board by bribed crew members. Once the ship was at sea, the pirates would rush the bridge and the engine room, killing or capturing the officers. They would force the ship to sail to Bias Bay, and they would offload the cargo and kidnap wealthy passengers for ransom. This threat was so common that steamships in the 1920s were equipped with piracy grills. Heavy iron bars and gates separated the bridge and first-class calls from the rest of the ship. We read about those before. Hong Kong was a primary target for pirate activity, forcing the British Royal Navy to maintain a massive presence known as the China Station. After particularly brazen hijacking, the British sent gunboats and even aircraft carriers like the HMS Hermes to Bias Bay to ransack pirate villages and burn their ships. The Bias Bay Raid, 1927, one of the largest operations, involved British troops landing at Bias Bay to destroy pirate strongholds after the hijacking of the ship SS Sunning. Okay, so that's the one that was mentioned by Edward, I think. While they destroyed dozens of pirate ships, the pirates simply hid into the hills and returned weeks later. The British eventually began placing platoon guards on merchant ships to prevent hijackings. The era of the pirate republics came to an abrupt end in the late 1930s, not because of law enforcement, but because of World War II. In 1937, Japan launched a full-scale invasion of China. By 1938, the Japanese Imperial Navy occupied the coastal regions, including Bias Bay. The Japanese had no patience for pirates interfering with their military supply lines. They used scorched earth tactics, destroying any ship or village suspected of piracy. Many pirates either fled, were executed, or joined the Chinese resistance as guerrillas, using their knowledge of the coast to harass Japanese shipping. What lovely times. Tropical killers. By 1941, Borneo is often referred to as a white man's grave, though by this era mortality had improved thanks to... let's look it up again. I don't remember how it was pronounced. Pronunciation. Quinine. Okay. Quinine. Whatever. Where was I? Oh, yeah, to quinine and better sanitation. That said, Borneo was still dangerous, especially inland for younger men. By far the most feared cause of death for young Europeans was black water fever. It was a terrifying complication of repeated malaria infections. It caused a massive breakdown of red blood cells, which overwhelmed the kidneys. It was named by the patient's urine, which turned dark red or black as the body tried to flush out destroyed blood cells. Deary me. It ironically targeted experienced men suddenly. It ironically targeted experienced men suddenly. What? A young man who had survived a year or two of minor malaria bouts was the most at risk. It ironically targeted experienced men suddenly. What's the irony? Experienced with what? Is it experienced with malaria? I still don't get why that would be ironic, but okay. It was often triggered by regular doses of quinine. It was frequently fatal within days. There was no cure other than absolute bed rest and prayer. While black water was the acute killer, standard malaria was the background noise of death. It didn't always kill directly, but it weakened the heart and immune system. Many young men died of secondary infections like pneumonia because their bodies were exhausted by the shakes. If a young man was sent to an inland post, his chances of contracting a lethal strain were significantly higher than in the coastal towns. In an era before antibiotics or widespread refrigeration, the gut was a constant point of failure. Dysentery, often caused by contaminated well water or unwashed produce, could kill a man from dehydration within 48 hours. Europeans had some protection via bottled water and boiled food. Labourers bore the vast majority of deaths here. Cholera would sweep through the labour lines because young men often lived in communal quarters. They were highly exposed. In Borneo's 90% humidity, even a tiny scratch from a thorn or an insect bite could turn lethal. A small cut would become a tropical ulcer. Without antibiotics, if the infection reached the bone or the bloodstream, the only options were amputation or death. This is a common reason for young assistants being invalided. I mean, I get the etymology of the word, but I've never heard it, I don't think. Because, like, as in, like, invalid, which would have been an old word for somebody's disabled in some way. Invalided home, but for those in remote outstations, it often led to a slow, painful death. Let's have a look. We're going to learn how to pronounce lots of things. Why is it not saying it? Okay. Or just invalided, I think. Okay. Invalided. Okay. Berry was primarily a killer of the labor force, but it occasionally hit young Europeans who lived too long on a local diet. It was caused by a deficiency of vitamin B1, usually caused by eating nothing but white rice. You should probably eat something a bit more than that. It caused the legs to swell, eventually led to heart failure. The British obsession with wearing white, starched, or simply overexerting themselves in the midday sun led to many sudden deaths. It was often recorded in official logs as failure of the heart due to the climate. This happened mostly to new arrivals who underestimated the heat and humidity. To get a job in Borneo by 1941, a young man had to pass a rigorous medical board in London or Amsterdam. If you were thin-blooded or had a weak chest, you were rejected. Those who went were the fittest. Yet the local cemetery records from towns like Sandakan, whatever it is, are filled with headstones for men in their early 20s, often a simple epitaph: died of fever. Okay. That was bright and cheery. I think we've read everything else. Okay, now we actually have to find out how to go forward. Now the trouble we've got is that we either are filling in... Oh, I wish I could see the whole thing. We're either filling in... Oh, look, times have been added to the top. Oh, no, they haven't. Oh. It was just the scroll wheels was in a certain place. It looked like they'd been added to the top. Oh, well. So we're either filling in like the 3 people that we know are meeting up around here, but we don't have locations for them. It's the trouble. Then, or we're filling in this, but we don't have the guy's photo, so we can't identify him. Or we're doing something else around here. Cannon enters. Joe Tanaka peeks in, not believing what he's seeing. So they've both arrived. Where they arrived from is the trouble. Can we figure out who this is? Because there was an overdose. Bonfire knows about the affair. The affair, he'll hang me. Do you mean affair as in a love affair, or just the goings on? Were you having an affair with what's the face? So we know it's not Bonfire. We know it's not these two. We know it's not Teresa or Little Mem, Loon. Knows about the affair, he'll hang me. See, I didn't know who to turn to. I don't know who to trust. So Canon is showing Jiro this. Jiro checks. And you currently don't trust anybody except Jiro. Did Canon do this? I didn't know who to turn to. Like, is there a Canon scene here? I mean, this would be a stretch, but there's something going on here, but I don't know what. I mean, I don't like the idea of doing it, but like I could use the rotary telephone here and see if it tells me anything. Like somebody was here, I guess. It depends when they died, but whether they used the phone or not, I don't know. It feels like a random guess. Okay, nothing comes of it anyway. They're on their way. How do I go anywhere from here? And didn't we already checked that Jiro didn't go to the workers' quarters yet? So where else did you go? I'll wait for the reinforcements here. Oh wait, Cannon's still here. But that doesn't help me unless I can... Well, unless you're the only person here and the dead body doesn't count as something I have to identify. Okay. Or the other characters count. I guess the dead bodies don't count because I didn't have to do it for this one. Oh, okay. So that does tell me something. So it's Cannon and somebody else, whoever the reinforcements are, I guess. I don't think any of these items are Cannon. What happened to the pouch? The pouch was in that room, but then the biohazard sample and the revolver were taken out. But then the rest, none of it's Cannon. But I mean, I could just check if the phone's being used. It's not. Okay. Not meaning to do that. They're on their way. Well, it's somebody that speaks whatever language you're speaking. I guess. How does one do anything in this game? La 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 la. Do I have any other items? Well, I've got this, but I don't know who it belongs to. Like, it maybe belongs to the person who's died, or maybe it doesn't, and they were given it. Do we have, if we believe that... Well, no, Jungle Entrance didn't have... well, no, Jungle Entrance, I think, does have something after that scene. Or any of these items belonging to you two. No, I wish I had items belonging to you two. That'd be nice. You don't have any of these. How do I do anything? Where did you go? I'll go meet him in the usual spots. The usual spots. German Man in the Hat by Jungle Entrance told me to let you know. The usual spots. I don't know what that is. Most things are ones, right? So you're a 4, apparently. That implies that you had the... This still has 1, apparently. Is this the... Yeah, the Lord answer your prayers, implying that you were in the chapel, but I did already check... Well, you weren't there, which is a bit weird, so I guess you were there then, but I don't have anybody else to put you... Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Don't have anyone else to put you with. Well, there's something going on here. And once again, none of these items belong to you. So I can't do that either. So there must be somebody else there. But who? We don't have any other characters? All the other characters are assigned? So if it's not you, who is it? I mean, there must be somebody else there as well. Where's German Man at this point? Jungle Entrance, of course. He's also losing the wire, test concealment. Just bottle under his arm, hurries off to sprint towards a distant cove, so I've got no idea where you went. Where's your usual meeting place with Asia. Oh, I did already click that. I don't need that again. But yeah. Unless... No, you can't be in two places at once, so you're already assigned here. Yeah, everybody... I've discovered this busy elsewhere at that time. Okay. I actually don't know how to progress it. Like, most of these are like already assigned. I don't have locations for the remaining people. I can't do this one because I don't have one of the people that's there. And it's definitely going to be a person that like I'm supposed to fill in some way. Okay, so I know their name is Harrow, but I don't have a picture, so I can't identify them. But there's also... How do I guess I have to click on a face to get these back, which is a bit weird. Lighter, like I know it's going to be a name that gets revealed, so it's going to be somebody that I have to identify at some point. Do I know about anybody else leaving? Will you leave? Well, is everybody else still there? Can I say it's like the same set of people? Although it seems like Kanan's turned up, so it's like almost everybody, right? You weren't there. No, you were there. You weren't there. Cannon's maybe there, so I'm going to do this. Okay, that works. Right, I've got a scene. After an uncomfortable minute of silence, Teresa McIntyre walks with Jeremiah Goodwill and slaps him hard. What have you done, you silly, silly man? Teresa McIntyre storms off, followed by Dieter von Guntram. Jiro Tanaka feels out of place and tries to slink away quietly towards the library. Okay, we can now follow some things. Phew. Edward Bonfire joins him. Edward Bonfire, let's get a drink, Jiro. My treat. Loon Goodwill starts crying and runs out of the room. Loon, come back. It's alright. It's over. They run out towards Loon's room. Okay, we have a new place. Rose Goodwill and Cynthia Seville watch them go. Rose Goodwill turns towards Jeremiah Goodwill and laughs. Now you've gone and done it, haven't you? I can't wait until they come back and murder us all. I'm sure Cynthia, Vitaline and I will be the last to die. These men were looking at us as though they meant to devour us whole. Girls, the heat's getting to me. Let's go to the deck to refresh. I'll get teas and coffees brought up. Okay, this has just opened up a whole bunch of paths. I'm afraid I'm in need of Miss Seville's company. If you want me to find a way out of this mess, that is. Rose Goodwill stares at Jeremiah Goodwill harshly. Enjoy your company, Jeremiah. I will see you in the morning. Do not come to my bedroom later. I will not wish to be woken up. Come on, Vitalina, let's go. Vitalina Petrosky and Rose Goodwill walk out of the room, leaving Jeremiah Goodwill and Cynthia Seville alone. Okay, so we could also follow that, which is just staying here, I guess. So there's a few things to follow from there. I wish it didn't keep them all selected. It's kind of annoying. So, wait, why are you still... I don't know what happened there. You and you. Oh. Leaving Jeremiah Goodwill and Cynthia Seville alone. Or maybe not entirely alone? Somehow? Even though it says they are left alone. Follow Lucas and Loon to Loon's room, I suppose. Not sure I want to know what's going on there. And there's also... These two, well, so Jiro and Edward have gone to the library. Let's do that one first. There's quite a few from that. Jiro and Edward. Library. Library is dimly lit, smelling of old paper and stale smoke. Edward Bonfire is wrestling with the lock of a glass-fronted cabinet. Confound it. Jerry always did keep the good stuff under lock and key, and with the clubhouse looking as though it's taken a full broadside, we don't have much else to drink. Edward Bonfire produces a small knife from his belt and jams it into the mechanism, and the sharp crack the wood gives way. Open sesame. He grabs a bottle of scotch and 2 glasses, pouring a shot from them both. You really shouldn't have done that, Chew and Bonfire. Chew and Goodwill would be positively livid. Jerry has bigger fish to fry tonight. Besides, the man's in my debt, whether he cares to admit it or not. Raising his glass, to surviving the night, eh? And to keeping our heads on our shoulders. Do you think they'll come back, the pirates? Harrow, he's a shark. He's caught the scent of blood in the water. He'll circle until he gets what he wants. I've seen his ilk before. In 26, many think they can take what they want. You saw them off then, though, didn't you? We gave him a scrap. That's the crucial distinction. Jerry, he fancies he can negotiate a settlement. You can't parley with a shark, old son. You have to punch it squarely in the snout. Jiro Tanaka downs his drink quickly and sets the glass down. I really must beg your leave, Mr. Bonfire. Decamping so soon? The bottle is still full. I have to see a man about a dog, as they say. Bonfire pauses, a knowing grin spreading across his face. A dog, is it? Or a bitch in heat, perhaps? Blushing, I'm sure I don't follow your meaning, sir. Oh, don't play the innocent with me, old boy. I've got eyes. Off you go then. Mum's the word. My lips are sealed tighter than a clam. Thank you, Mr. Bonfire. Okay, so hold on. You want to go see someone. And you're like winking, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I know what's going on. Thank you, Mr. Bonfire. Jiro Tanaka scuttles out of the room. Head of Bonfire empties his glass quickly and sets it down. Right, where is the party at now? I can't be the only one who still needs a stiff drink after tonight's events. Head of Bonfire hears a friend's voice coming from the veranda and goes to investigate. Gosh, there's lots of leads coming out of this now. Yeah, so like, an easy thing to miss is just like, oh, the next scene is still going to have the same people in it because somehow the events of that scene took an entire hour. But yeah, like if it doesn't say they leave, you can assume they're still there. In most cases, I think. Okay, so you're going to go see somebody. There's this Harrow character. So we also have Loon's room, you and you. Yep. Nothing left here. Cleared out one room's timeline. Oh, interesting. My instincts tell me I've covered everything there is to see in this location. The remaining hours holding the okay, so nothing else happens in Loon's room. Interesting. So it fills them in grey automatically once you've done everything else. I like that. I think. Because that means I don't have to like manually cross them all off. Once I found the actual events, it will cross them off for me. I think it would have been good if I could like mark them as like, I'm pretty sure there isn't going to be something here. I think it should look visually slightly different, as maybe like a cross-hatched grayed outness or something. So it's like almost grey but not fully grey. Yeah, just as a way of that's more just to keep track of like what you've done and what you haven't done, and what you think isn't going to have anything in it, without accidentally crossing something off that does eventually have something in it. Like it would mean like, oh, there might be something here, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. But anyway, this is cool. We'll save this scene until next time. So see you then, folks, and hopefully we'll keep going. Because I think I often hit these like bottlenecks where there's like, I'm not sure exactly how to make any progress. And then you suddenly reveal another scene and it tells you, well, these two people went over here and these two people went over here, etc., etc. I hope at some point they tell me where Asia and the German were earlier. Because the problem is I'm not sure if the game wants me to guess. I hope it doesn't. I hope there's a clue. But I guess if I get through the entire game and I haven't found it, I'll end up just guessing. But it doesn't feel satisfying. So I hope there's a clue somewhere. Or maybe there is a clue and I've missed it. That's the other option. But anyway, yeah, see you next time and we'll read this. Goodbye.